All right, here we go. So, friendly fact. Tomorrow is PSAT day. If we're here, we're going to be here, but it's fine. Tomorrow's PSAT day, so I'm not going to see 90% of you. I am going to see my 6th and my 8th period class. If you would like to come see my 6th and 8th period class, you're more than welcome to come to class. Keep in mind, I'm going to have more kids than usual. So it's first come, first serve. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone. I can't give a seat, but you can sit on my desk. We'll make it work. Is that okay? So just be aware of that. I am going to be recording my lecture tomorrow. It will be posted no matter what. So everyone has the same access to content. I'm doing the best I can in a really weird week. Can we agree? And I've also had cheaters, which just makes me mad. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm not fine, but it's okay. With that being said, your test is on Thursday. Unless we don't have school on Thursday, then your test is on Friday. I'm just covering all bases here. So I'm just trying to make sure everything is crossed off. So if we don't have school on Thursday, which was what what William thinks is going to be called on Thursday, if we don't have school on Thursday, your test is on Friday. We are not getting behind. Yes? Okay. So on your whiteboard, let's review a couple things. On your whiteboard, please tell me, who is the prophet of Islam? Good. Josh. Muhammad. On your whiteboard, what is the name of the holiest city of Islam? Good. Isabella. Mecca. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when Muhammad gets kicked out of Mecca and goes to Medina? This is a huge turning point. It is the most important turning point in all of Islam. I have 3, 2 are right, 1's wrong. Good. What is it? Autumn. Hijra is the major turning point. If you didn't know that, I'd write that down. It is a massive turning point for Islam. It is when Muhammad starts coming up with a way to reconquer Mecca. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the civilization that a society that Muhammad created after the Hijra? What is it called? Starts with a U. Good. Kaiser. The Ummah. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the law code created by Muhammad in the Ummahs? Good. What is it? What is the name of the law code? I have a lot of wrong answers here, ladies and gentlemen. Emerson, what is it? Sharia law. That is the law code. What are the foundations of Islam called? That was where you guys are getting confused. Who's her? Yes. Good. She's all yours. Good. Yeah. What is it, Devin? 5 pillars. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the holiest site in Islam? What is the name of the holiest site in Islam? Good. What is it? Bobby? Kaaba. All right, here we go. Who can raise your hand and tell me where we left off? Hi. Thank you for the hand, Evan. I appreciate the hand, Evan. What do you got? Jihad. Perfect. All right. So, jihad is known as the struggle. Okay? You need to write jihad, and you're going to put a big star. Okay? You're going to write that Allah told Muhammad to reconquer Mecca. Allah told Muhammad to reconquer Mecca in his name. That is the only time, ladies and gentlemen, that jihad is appropriate. Now, have people taken jihad and started abusing it and using it to declare war on other people? Yes. There's only one time when Allah allows it, and it's for him to reconquer Mecca. Okay? Now, as soon as Muhammad dies, we have the Umayyad dynasty, which we'll get to here in a second. They use jihad to justify conquering tons and tons of territory. Is that how it's supposed to be used? Has it been abused? Yes. If you look at ISIS today, are they abusing jihad? For sure. Okay? With that being said, do not allow that to shape your perceptions of Islam. It's just like when the Pope Urban II declared the Crusades. Do you think that's what Jesus wanted? his name to be used to declare the killing of millions of Muslims? No. Alright, so Sharia law. You shouldn't have to write anything down because we already talked about it, correct? Law code based on Islam. Okay? So, caliph. Now, this is a huge thing. It's very tricky. I'm sorry. Take a peek over here. Okay, so Muhammad dies in 633. You need to know that date, ladies and gentlemen. You need to know that date. Put a big box around it, whatever you're going to do. You need to know that date. Okay, so Islam, when Muhammad's around, everything is fine, correct? Then Muhammad dies in 633. So this is how I did it for the iconoclasm. This is what we're doing here. Soon as Muhammad dies, Muhammad's death, it splits into two sects, Sunni and Shiite. So as soon as Muhammad dies in 633, okay, Islam splits into two sects. Sunni. There's two spellings to Shiite, S-H-I-I-T-E or S-H-I-A, Shia. Those are the two spellings you do need to know. So Sunni and Shiite are your two sects. This is all about how to select a caliph. You need to know that a caliph is like the equivalent of a pope. They're the leader of the religion. It's the equivalent of a pope. Okay? So, the Sunni believed that the most qualified person should be the caliph. So the person who knows the Quran the best, the person who leads the most Muhammad-like life should lead the religion. Makes sense, correct? Yes? Hello? The Shiite, or the Shia, believe it should be a direct descendant of Muhammad or Ali. Ali is his last relative. Okay? So, the Shiite believe that it should be a direct descendant of Muhammad or Ali, which is his last relative. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a huge problem. As we read yesterday, the last sermon of Muhammad, correct? He did not pick a leader. So as soon as this break happened, it causes complete chaos. The Shiite are going to and then immediately be the largest. Okay, it's going to create a civil war between Islam. Okay, now today, please listen. Today in 2018, the Sunni are the largest. You may want to make a note. Today, I'd write today, don't write back then. Today, the Sunni are the largest, and the Shiite are the smallest. They're also the most targeted. Have you ever wondered why people in the Middle East are killing each other all the time? Why they're always having civil wars? There's two reasons. Colonization. Western countries went in and exploited and destroyed a lot of their culture and all that aspects, yeah? Second reason, Sunni and Shiites. Islam. Nope, not Islam. ISIS is made up of Shiites. 90% of Islam, God damn it, no. 90% of ISIS today in 2018 is made up of Shiites. Shiites have been picked off, killed for a majority of their entire existence, correct? Yes, they're going to be assassinated. There's going to be civil wars trying to kill them. So they unify, and just like a bully, when you pick on the little kid, right, eventually that little kid's going to come back. That's what ISIS is. That's ISIS. So, is this going to be a big problem? Is this going to affect us in 2018?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Billions of people are going to be killed in conflicts between Sunni and Shia. Syria, have you heard of the civil war in Syria? How they're just completely destroyed Damascus. There's tons of cities that are ISIS held. It's over Sunni versus Shia. Is it a big deal? It's a huge deal. That's how the original starts, is because the government was sanctioning the murdering of Shiites. It was government approved. What do you got?
What was the difference between Hijra and Jihad?
Hijra is Muhammad's getting kicked out of Mecca and going to Medina. Jihad is Allah's approval of Allah telling Muhammad to go ahead and wage war and get Mecca back. And it's the only time you see it. It's the only time that Allah asked for people to be killed in His name.
Why was Muhammad kicked out of Mecca?
Because he was causing so many problems. Remember, it was a polytheistic religion, and he's going around talking about monotheism, and it was bad for business.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they kicked him out. Yeah, He got kicked out of there and went to Medina, and then sat there for like 10 years.
And so, like, pilgrimage, like, having multiple routes.
Pilgrimage? Pilgrimage means you go to a religious site.
Oh.
Like, I'm a Catholic. I went technically on a pilgrimage to the Vatican. Technically. But, like, I didn't really, like, I didn't do a mass or anything. But I was there. What do you got?
Is there more sites?
Oh, yeah, there's tons of them. But these are the two big ones. Like, just like in Christianity, we don't cover them all. We just do the big breaks. That's the big breaks. Okay? Now, the first caliph you do need to know is Abu Bakr. Okay? It's Muhammad's son-in-law. Okay? So you do need to know that. And after Abu Bakr comes a guy named Ali. And after Ali, it just goes to straight chaos. Okay? So you do need to know that the first caliph is Abu Bakr. He is on your test tomorrow, I can tell you that. Okay. All right. I mean, Thursday, whatever. Okay? It's been a really awful time. All right. So we are going to meet. There we go. We got him. Cool. Umayyad. Here we go. The Umayyad dynasty. You need to know that they are the first dynasty to use Islam in a theocracy. You need to know that they are the first dynasty to use theocracy of Islam. Couple things else you need to know. They are the Silk Road. They're the ones facilitating all that trade. It's comfortable back here. It's nice. Sitting back here. And if I had my stool, I'd be sitting in the front, but they don't have my stool because no one wants to relax and unfollow. Okay? You also need to know its capital is Damascus. Capital is Damascus. Okay? Alright, now, put a little star. AP loves this crap. I don't really know why, but they do. They only allow, they have favoritism for Arabs only. They don't like anyone else. No one in government. You're not allowed to work in the government unless you're an Arab. Okay? So, if you're a non-Arab, you are not going to have a position of power. They also create a jizya. A jizya is a tax for non-Muslims. This jizya tax is going to be used by the Seljuk Turks, then the Ottomans for like 700 years. Is that important for you to know? There you go. Okay, so you need to know that they favored Arabs, that they also are going to create a jizya on non-Muslims. So, are they going to force you to convert to Islam? No, but you are going to pay a tax to it. Now, the Umayyad are going to be filthy rich. So their leadership is going to lose power mostly because they're just getting drunk all the time. So then we have the Abbasid dynasty. Now, the Abbasid dynasty, you need to know, are going to... How many of you have ever seen Game of Thrones? 3 of you? Have you ever seen The Red Wedding? Then you haven't seen Game of Thrones. Have you seen The Red Wedding? It's amazing. It's like the best scene of the whole damn show. I don't know. The one the dragon was taking down the wall was pretty cool as well. You didn't see that? How can you even
How
care?
do you like the dragon?
Whatever. Anyway, the Red Wedding is when two rival families who absolutely hate each other, they get married in order to kind of smooth over their bond. So everyone's eating and drinking in this massive hall, and everyone's having a good time, everyone's partying and all that stuff. And then one of the families lock the doors. And they slaughter everyone in the dining hall. Like, gut them from, like, throat to toes. Like, complete assassination. They cut a baby out of the womb. Like, the whole thing. In that one scene, 4 or 5 main characters die. So it's, like, super shocking. Like, the whole thing is just insane. That is based on the Umayyads. The Abbasids killing the Umayyads. You don't think that's cool? They invite the Umayyads to a banquet, and then they just gut the hell out of them. You don't think that's cool? Yeah, they kill all of them except one. One guy sneaks out.
Oh, yeah.
He goes to Spain. Which we're going to get to here in a second. So the Umayyad are literally assassinated in a banquet hall by the Abbasids, which is pretty cool. You need to know that the Abbasids celebrate diversity. Okay, they celebrate diversity. However, this is on your test on Thursday. They are a non-conquering empire. They are a non-conquering empire. So what is not very important to them?
Conquering land.
Military. Their military is fine. It's not great. They're not trying to conquer territory. However, they have a very effective government. You need to write that down. Actually, put a big star next to it because it's a big deal. They have a very, very effective government based on bureaucracy and Islam. It's important because when the Mongols come and take over after the Seljuk Turks are going to be like, damn, this government works so well, we're just going to keep it. And then when the Mongols come, they're going to conquer this territory and be like, damn, this works so nicely. So what they're going to do is they're going to capture 3,000 Arabs and move them to China and say, make government. And you're going to have for 400 years a bunch of Arabs running Chinese government for the Mongols. That's how effective it is. So is it important that you understand that? Yes. Alright. You also need to know that they are going to create the Dar al-Islam. Now, the Dar al-Islam means House of Wisdom. Dar al-Islam means House of Wisdom. And it's on your test, by the way. And you need to know it is the center of math, science, and philosophy study in the world. It is the center of the world
Is this
for academics.
today?
No, it's not. So you know how like today when we think of the most prestigious universities in the world, we think of Cambridge, Oxford, Harvard, Stanford, yes? Okay, it's the most prestigious universities. Everything was the Dar al-Islam. Now, who is going to be more academically important? What's happening in the West? What's happening in Western Europe here, people? Yeah, they're playing with sticks. They're feudal. Feudalism is in full force, right, Rod? So every day they go out and play in their fields, and they go home and get drunk. And then they wake up the next day, and guess what they go do? Play in their fields, go home and get drunk. Are they creating anything?
No.
Are they building anything? Studying anything? No. So the Arabs, the Muslims are the only ones who are really advancing things at this point. Okay. You need to know that their capital city is in Baghdad. And it is going to be one of the major trading cities in the world. Apparently Baghdad used to be absolutely stunningly beautiful. Is it today? No. It's had so many civil wars, and the United States bombed the hell out of it. Why?
Wow.
Oh yeah, well, that's what happens in the Iraq War. Alright. Okay, you just need to know the Golden Age is under Harun al-Rashid. So just know that the Golden Age is under Harun al-Rashid. And his sons are going to inherit his empire, and they're going to have a civil war and destroy the whole thing. This sounds awfully familiar to what previous dude who gave his sons the empire and it got split. How many?
Charlemagne.
Charlemagne. So, nice little synthesis point for you. So, all you need to know is Harun al-Rashid is the Golden Age. His sons are the ones who are going to crash the empire. There you go. Yeah, it's going to be because his sons are fighting. Just like Charlemagne, you know how his sons are fighting so much that they lose the Carolingian Empire?
Why are they fighting? Who are they fighting with?
They fought each other. There's 3 of them. Charlemagne gave his 3 sons. In this case, there's only 2 of them. Alright, so economy. Write down economy on your board. Not on your board. Not on your board. Sorry. That was fake news. On your notes. Okay, you need to know that salt and cotton are the most highly prized item on the Silk Road during period 3. Salt and cotton. Why is salt highly in demand? It's always highly in demand, but this is the first time I'm really pointing it out. Why, Morgan? It is a preservative, so it makes things easier to preserve. We need it or we die. If you don't have salt in your diet, you're going to die. Is that a problem we have in 2018 in the United States?
No.
No, we got potato chips, man. We've got plenty of salt in our diet. So, cotton. Why is cotton so valuable at this time, Jake? Clothing, yes. It's going to be more available. It's only coming from India at this point. It's a high-priced item. However, even poorish people can afford it at times. Okay, it's only coming from India, so it's super, super popular. Paper is going to be a big thing, but we'll come to that when we get to Asia. All right, right, now you need to know that there is a new trade route being opened. Put a big star. This is a very big deal. We're going to get more into it when we get to Africa. The new trade route is called the Trans-Saharan Trade Route. Okay? It is going to be started with a new piece of technology. And what is that new piece of technology?
Camels.
I don't know
Dow.
what year we're in.
We're in year 3. We're having
I
we're
decided
between
by
600 and
camels.
1450.
We literally just camped, like
That's
blew
serious.
stuff on camels. and just,
Chariots is 2.
Wait, how big is the
Camels!
How
Camels! Why are camels so innovative?
do we get them there?
Why? Colton.
because they don't need a lot of
They don't need a lot of water. Their humps are actually fat that they can break down, and they don't need water. A horse needs 15 gallons a day of water. So how much water do you need to carry with you for your horse if you're crossing a desert? Too much. A camel requires a gallon of water every 3 days. No, every week and a half or something like that. Something crazy. So, because of the new invention of camels, which have always belonged to the Middle East, they're now being moved into Africa, and that's going to facilitate a whole new trade route. Pretty cool. Okay. Now, you also what? What are you giggling about, Josh? It is an invention because it's a novelty in Africa. They don't naturally exist there. So technically, one thing moving from one place to another is a new invention. There you go. All right, you need to know the word sack, which means check. Okay, that's how we get the word check. Sack is the creation of a banking system. Now, the Muslims have so much money going back and forth along the Silk Route, they don't want to carry that money on the road because of bandits. So what they do is they create a banking system. So they go ahead to a bank in China and deposit a bunch of money, and that bank creates this really fancy piece of paper, okay, with all these intricate details, and then they carry that piece of paper, which has no value, really, okay, it represents value. They carry it across the continent of Asia, and then they show back up in Baghdad with that to the sister bank of the Chinese bank, and they show it, and then they will give them their money in response. Okay? This is, and you're going to put a big star, the foundation of credit. Here in 2018, is credit important? Yes. It's the only reason why I have a house. It's the only reason why I have a car. It is the only reason I pay off my credit cards. Actually, I don't have any credit card debt. Thanks. But yes, credit is a huge deal. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't take care of your own credit when you start taking out credit cards and all that stuff, you're going to be living in a cardboard box under a bridge. So take care of your credit. All right. You also need to know joint ventures become a new piece of technology. Now, joint ventures are when two people enter a business deal. Now, so if Morgan is going to start a bakery, she is going to have to do the baking and the books. Okay? However, with a joint venture, her and Evan are going to start a bakery. Evan is the real cook here. Morgan knows the books. So Evan's going to deal with the baking, and Morgan is going to run the books. Do you think that sounds like a better business deal, or hello, better than one person? For sure. So now people are specializing in certain fields, and this is going to become common. All right, here we go. Anadulus, all anadulus, or whatever it is. I know, totally opposite thing, right? We're in the stowing all the time and all this stuff.
I have a question. Joint venture that started like
No, that would be, if you're going to tie loans and start, that would be credit. That's going to come. All right, Al-Anadolus is Islamic Spain. You do need to know that. So, you know how I told you about that bloodbath that the Umayyads got all killed in this massive battle with Abbasid? Yeah, it's not a massive battle. They got, murdered in a banquet hall. One Umayyad dude survived, and he escapes to Spain. So one Umayyad descendant escapes from the banquet hall and sails from the Middle East to Spain and starts a new caliphate there. That's all. Are you in Ren's class, Ron?
yes.
Have you done mosque that has a church in the center of it in Cordoba? Yeah, that's this same dude.
I was in that one.
I can't tell you. I just can't. Okay? You need to know that even though he starts his own caliphate, him and the Abbasid don't get along and he refuses to deal with them. Who can raise their hand and tell me why this dude would not want to hang out with the Abbasid dynasty? Nathan.
They kind of killed everybody.
Yeah, they killed everyone he knows, and that's why he's living in exile. So he's kind of isolated. The only reason I care about it is because it's on your test tomorrow. And we're going to talk about it again when we do the Reconquista in 4. When the Spanish kick all the Muslims out of Spain, they're kicking these people out. Oh, shit. What did I do? Shit.
Wait, so or Al and Lewis is the one who like escaped?
Yeah. And he's going to create an Islamic Spain. And eventually will be kicked out in like 600 years. Alright, so social is what I put for your heading here. You need to know that the Quran is going to improve the station of women. Were you expecting that?
No.
No, thank you. How exciting. They are going to improve the station of women for a couple of things. You're not allowed to kill infant babies because you're disappointed they're a girl. Specifically outlawed in the Quran. Is it outlawed in the Bible?
Yeah, that's when I killed.
Not women. They need men. Yeah, because wealth is passed by men. Alright, brides, not husband, can claim dowry. So women are able to maintain wealth separate from their husbands. Why is this a big deal for us ladies? Why? Hello, why? Hello. Hello. Cynthia.
We can have our own money and we don't have to depend on the government.
Yeah. So if our husband dies, Cynthia, are we screwed?
No, we have our money.
Yeah, we don't need no
You
man.
don't have to let jump on the fire.
No, that's in India. Oh my god, are you just blending everything I taught you? I'm glad you remembered parts, but like you need to know your areas here. Alright. However, we are still going to have a patriarchal society. Let's not get wild here. We still understand that, correct? Okay, now, their polygamy is allowed. What is polygamy? Morgan? I know. Multiple wives, one man. Does that sound like a nightmare?
So
Can you imagine multiple of me being stuck? Oh my gosh, yeah. And they do have a veil. Okay, now, is everywhere in the world having a veil at this point? Hello? Yes, Christians have veils, they cover their hair. If you look at all Middle Ages paintings and stuff, you're going to see women are completely covered. You're going to have Hindus are going to be covering their hair. Christians are covering it. Jews always had a thing about covering their hair as well. Alright, you need to know Sufi missionaries. These are a huge, big thing. This is on your testimony as well. It is the blending, you're going to put a big star, you're going to write the blending of emotional and mysticism with Islam. Sufi is a blending of emotional and mysticism. So what does that mean if it has mysticism in it? Oh God. Colton?
It's not one of them.
What is mysticism? We've talked about this every time mysticism comes up. Sophia? Yeah, there's some sort of magic component. These people believe that they can come in contact with Muhammad and Muhammad can speak to them. Or that Muhammad directs their magic tricks and stuff. Pretty cool. Okay, they're super popular. Would you rather go to a church or a mosque that has a Sufi who does like magic tricks or a guy who just stands there and recites the prayers? Magic tricks, for sure. A little entertainment for you. Alright. There's your
So was it like
yeah, it's based on Islam. Okay, Darul Islam, just be aware of it. Cool, that's everything. Nice. Alright, here we go to the boards. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the first caliph of Islam? Who is the first caliph of Islam? Good. Who is it? Autumn. Abu Bakr. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what are the two most important goods being traded along the Silk Road? Good. What are they? Josh. Salt and cotton. What is a blend of emotional and mystical in Islam? What do we call when Islam, emotion, and mysticism are all blended together? Kaiser. Sufis. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what type of government structure did the Abbasid have? Fancy term to be used from. Good, I got 1, 2. Good. What is it, William?
Bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy. On your whiteboard, what Islamic empire does not conquer? They are a non-conquering empire. What Islamic empire do we talk about that is a non-conquering one? Good. What is it? Emerson. There we go. What do we call Islamic Spain? What do we call Islamic Spain? Annie, what do you got?
Wait, so like the Abbasid wasn't like conquering, but they still killed all the.
Oh, for sure. But that's like in one room. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They're like fine with killing people in like this room, but they don't want to like go like around and like lead a military and do it. You know what I mean? What is Muslim Spain called, Kylie?
Al-Andalus.
Sounds good to me. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what does Dar al-Islam stand for? Good. Good. What is it? Philip. House of Wisdom. On your whiteboard, what are the 2 sects of Islam? Good. Good. What do you got, William?
Sunni and Shia.
On your whiteboard, what sect believes in a direct descendant of either Muhammad or Ali? Ali is a descendant of Muhammad, but that's fine. Good. Which one, Isabella? Shiite. Sunnis believe that their caliph should be what? On your whiteboard. Sunnis believe that their caliph should be what? Good. Good. Evan. Most qualified. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the major turning point of Islam? What do we call it when Muhammad gets kicked out of Mecca and goes to Medina? What do we call that? It's the turning point of Islam. Good. What do we call it? Annie. Hijara. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is... Under what religion is there more education? What religion has more education during this time period? Good. Good. What is it? Nate? Islam. On your whiteboard, what's the fancy term that we've used a little bit? Where some aspects of another society influence another one. Like for instance, Islam is going to be... It's when you steal stuff from another building. It's when you start spreading stuff from one place to another. I'm not asking this question well. I was looking for cultural diffusion. But that's not your fault. That's mine. I know. Shut up, okay? I'm not doing well, okay? I'm more. On your whiteboard, please tell me what religion is going to be the most popular religion along the Silk Road during period 3. Good. What is it? Rod? Islam. On your whiteboard, during period 2, what was the most popular religion along the Silk Road? Just trying to make sure you didn't. No! 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 How many Christians do you think there are in Asia right now?
I just don't know. I think it's Buddhism.
It is Buddhism.
Right?
Yeah. Hi, people. We've talked about this. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called what's the fancy term for giving charity in Islam? Good. I would take 2 answers here. What do you got, Javi?
Zakat.
Or what, Kaiser? Almsgiving. On your whiteboard, please tell me. Oh, you're not allowed, who are you not allowed to have an image of? You are not allowed to represent him in a figural way. You should. What two things are you not allowed to represent in a figural way? There's two names should be on your board. There we go. Anna, you had it right before. What is it? Yeah, you're not allowed to have them in a figural way. Like you're not allowed to represent them in a figure. Do you remember there was before before the last bombing in Paris, there was an attack on a newspaper, Charlie Hebdo. The reason why Charlie Hebdo, the newspaper, was targeted is because they did a cartoon of Muhammad. What are you absolutely not allowed to do? A cartoon of Muhammad.
Wait, so do you have to do other people?
No.
as figures?
You typically don't, which is why if you saw the mosques and all the images that Ren's showing us, there's no images of any people because they don't want to be represented. I covered everything and I was very generous, by the way.
So tomorrow, are you covering more? Or are you covering this?
I'm gonna go over this because you're the only class that